Right, hello everybody and welcome to this week's vlog, which is not a shopping vlog this week. We're going to have a bit of a chatty vlog because we have lots of guests coming and, well, I haven't got time to do shopping. So we thought we would do a long-awaited chatty vlog. I did put a box on Instagram and I asked what people would like to hear about rather than questions, more like subjects of what we can talk about, because we've done a questions one before, but we're now, well, how far are we into the channel now? I started it in April 2024 and filming this today, it is the 31st of July 2025. So how many months is that?
16
months we are into the channel. So yeah, so like I say, I put a box on Instagram and the most asked question was, how did you guys meet? So do you want to tell the story, Jason, or should I?
What's the story?
The clean version.
Oh, the clean version.
Yeah.
Well, we'd known each
Basically,
other for...
we both work for EasyJet based at Newcastle. I was crew, Jason was captain. Very cliche, I know, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But we'd known each other for, how many years would you say we'd known each other first?
I was at Newcastle for 10 years, so it'd have been 8 and a bit years.
8 and a bit years. Yeah, so I'd known Jason, worked, there wasn't a lot of us at Newcastle, there was only like, 100 and odd of us? Not that many, was there?
No, there was 7 airplanes at the most.
Yeah, so there wasn't that many crew. Everybody knew each other basically. So we'd all worked together plenty of times. There was, you weren't working with different people that you didn't know every day, not like a big massive airline or in a big massive base. So we'd worked together plenty of times, hadn't we? And then we got stuck in Palma one night. When you work for EasyJet, you don't stay over anywhere. They get you home every single night. It's not like when people see cabin crew and pilots jobs from years ago where they stay over all the time. That doesn't happen with EasyJet, does it? You come home.
Or any other airline.
Yeah, or any other airline, really. Well, saying that, Qatar Airways you did, didn't you?
What, for 24 hours? If
no,
that...
but I mean, whereas EasyJet you didn't stay over at all, did you?
No, but that's only because they have to.
Yeah. You'd either do 2 sector days or 4 sector days. You would always end up back at home on the night. And I think in my 10 years there, I think I only ever stayed over 3 times. And that was because of something that broke, whatever. And this night in Palma, you broke something, didn't you, on the plane?
Break something. The window heat stopped working.
Yeah. So
if the window heat stops working, you can't fly in icing conditions because it makes the glass too brittle. So we couldn't go home until they had a new window heat computer.
Yeah. So we were stuck in Palma. Now, we didn't have anything with us. We had no change of clothes, nothing. We all had to phone. We all had kids. All of the crew had kids. So we all had to like make sure we could get babysitters and everything. And then we got sent to a hotel and we went and bought I Love Mallorca t-shirts, didn't we? And we were like, right, that's it. We're going out. We're going out to the pub when we get there because it was all a novelty for us.
I know what happens, but listening to this, it sounds like it's...
But the thing is, though, nothing happened. This is the thing. Everybody's going to be so disappointed with this story because I think everybody thinks that, I don't know what happened that night, but it didn't. Like, nothing happened at all. That is 100% true, isn't it?
Because you're singing to step songs that done it.
Yeah, we all went back to my room. There was like the 6 of us and we were singing to, no, it wasn't Steps, it was S Club 7. Yeah. We were all singing to S Club 7. So we were, that was basically it. We gets up the next day, we goes home. That was the end of the story. But I thought...
Then she chased me.
No, I didn't.
She did.
I didn't.
She did.
Because what happened was Jason was in the middle of a divorce.
Which came out that day while we were out. Nobody knew.
Yeah, that we didn't know about. So, why should we? You know, it's none of our business at the end of the day. But when I got back, I went round to my friend's house who also worked for EasyJet. So she knew Jason, so we could have this conversation. And I said to her that I thought Jason was flirting with me. And we were having this conversation over a glass of wine, as we're doing now. And she said, oh, you're going to have to text him. And I was like, why would I do that? Like, what conversation would I have with him? And
that old git.
Yeah, well, I'll get to that in a minute. So,
Oh no, you can't say that.
so then she was like, text him because he paid for everything for all of the crew on the night out. So I was like, I just messaged him. I messaged you on Facebook. I didn't even have your number. I messaged you on Facebook saying, oh, you know, thanks for paying for everything on the night out. You know, we had a really good time. You know, like, let me know if I owe you any money, that sort of thing.
And I said yes, and I still haven't got it.
So that was how the contact started. And my friend was like egging me on saying, you know, you need to message him and blah, blah, get his number and everything. And I was like, absolutely no way. And I called him an old bald man. I was like, he's an old bald man. I said, I'm not doing that. Anyway, ends up getting his number. This is within the same conversation. And then he rang me. Like, who does that?
People with a phone.
No, you just text. Anyway, I'm going off topic here. So that's how it started, basically. So it was sort of from the night in Palma, but not from the night in Palma, if you know what I mean. And then
You chased me.
that was it, really, wasn't it?
You didn't let me go.
I don't. Can you remember where we even went on our first date?
No.
Neither can I. So that's how we met, basically. We'd known each other for years before that. And then that leads us on to one of the next things of when did we get married. So we actually got married quite quickly because this was the night in Palma was in the April, wasn't it? Then in the February, we went to New York, and that's when we got engaged.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jason decided, it was just not long after that you sort of decided that should you apply for Qatar Airways, which goes on to another question of why did we move to Qatar. I think you were just bored at EasyJet as well, weren't you? Like,
Among other things.
Yeah, there was a few other things, but also you weren't going to do anything different at EasyJet, were you?
Yeah, EasyJet become a dead-end job. And I'll be doing the same 10 years later, flying the same routes, same aeroplane, same everything, so it was just getting boring.
Yeah, so he decided, he was like, what do you think? Now, we hadn't been together that
Shall we
long.
give it a go, was the word.
Should we give it a go? And I was like, yeah, why not? Not really thinking about the enormity of it. So then you applied. We kept it a complete secret from everybody. The only person who I told was my best friend Gemma, and told her that we'd applied because we needed to go to the interview. And I wanted to go with him because I wanted to lay my eyes on this place. Never been there in my life. Like, I'd been to Dubai once, which is a different country. I know a lot of people do think Dubai and Qatar is the same place. It isn't. But I wanted to go with him on the interview, but I had a 2-year-old. So I was like, how am I going to do that without my mum knowing? Because I didn't want to upset my mum and dad if he didn't get the job. So then we managed to come up with some story, and then my friend looked after Zara while we flew to Qatar and went for the interview, didn't we?
On the same day,
On the same day, my mum and dad were travelling here to Orlando, and we were in Manchester Airport at the same time. We hid in the bar because we knew they wouldn't be in the bar, and they didn't see us. They got on a plane to Orlando, we got on a plane to Qatar. So we done that, and then about 6 weeks later you found out that you'd got the job. But the problem was with Qatar is it's a Muslim country, and you have to be married to live there together. So we were like, right, now we have to get married. We were already engaged, and we already had a holiday planned to Las Vegas. So we said, right, why don't we just do it in Vegas? So that's what we done. There was nobody else there at our wedding, just the two of us. We got married at the top of the stratosphere.
And organised in one evening.
Organised in one evening. You know, the most stress-free wedding type scenario that you could ever have. So that's what we done. We got married in Vegas. We got married on the 5th of October, and we moved to Qatar on the 31st of October.
30th.
Oh, was it the 30th? No, I always remember Halloween for some reason. I have Halloween in my head. But anyway, we moved to Qatar on the 30th of October, and we stayed 10 years. And the first 6 months, we never thought we would ever stay that long, did we? The first 6 months was horrible. It was really horrible. Obviously missing family. I just moved a 2-year-old away from everything that she knew. that Qatar Airways put us in a really naff place to live. It was horrible. It was like a cave, and I just was like, I can't live here. I can't. The traffic was awful. It was just so difficult. But we pushed through. We moved into a nicer place, and we started making friends, and we lasted 10 years, didn't we? Mm-hmm. And it's the best thing we've ever done. As much as we've called Qatar over the years, we've said bad things about it. It's not perfect, but then nowhere is. England's not perfect, America's not perfect, and neither is Qatar, and they're all for different reasons, really, aren't they? But ultimately, Qatar was never permanent. We couldn't have stayed there even if we wanted to. That's what made it always temporary. So I think when you've got that in the back of your mind, you always think, well, what's next? Because you can't stay there. Even if we'd have loved it, we couldn't have stayed there. So then...
But as they always say, the Middle East is like a scale, isn't it? When you've got the poop in one thing and the money in the other that goes up and down.
Yeah.
And when...
yeah, because the only reason people go to the Middle East is for money. It's pretty simple. And if anybody tells you otherwise... well, they're telling lies. And you know that if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that we've always been completely honest with you. Yes, over time you get to love it and you get to get used to the living conditions of what you're doing. And a lot of people don't want to leave. I've got lots of friends who still live there who've got no intention of leaving. They'll have to leave in the end, but they've got no intention of leaving because they like living there. So then... it isn't about the money, but you went there in the first place for that, because they have to pay people decent money to go to the Middle East, otherwise people wouldn't go. And that's not, me being harsh about the Middle East, that is the truth about it. But we've had many, many very happy memories from there, made friends for life. Yeah, wouldn't change it for the world. Zara had a fantastic childhood, sunshine, swimming pools.
Kids have a great life.
Kids have a fantastic life. She went to a British school, so she's still got a British education. And in the beginning part of that, most of the employees of the school were British. They only employed British people. It changed sort of towards the end of it. But overall, Qatar was great, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we never thought we'd move to Florida. That was never in the car, and that was never on the cards, was it?
As I've said before, one conversation with a first officer while we're flying somewhere. You can apply for the green card, and that was it.
And he knew I'd always wanted to be here whenever was possible. And he just called me. I was in the UK, and he said, apparently we can apply for a green card. I was like, we're doing it. That was it, wasn't it? And then we put the wheels in motion and spent
slowly
the next...
chucked along for 2 years.
Yeah, spent the next 2 years getting the visa, which that story's already on a vlog. If you're interested in seeing our visa story, then I'll link it in the comments below about how we got the visa and that whole process, so I won't go into that now. Yeah, so Jace, there's a couple of questions here about your job, but obviously working for EasyJet was a short haul company, wasn't it? So you done the short haul. Working for Qatar Airways was long haul, very long haul. And then what you do now, because one of the questions is would Jason like to work for a different airline, or so he's not away, or do all airlines work like that? Somebody was asking, would you always be away, is the question.
You wouldn't always be away, and you wouldn't be away as much as I am now, because you'd come and go 3-4 days, you'd be back, things like that. The problem is when you get employed by airlines in the US, you have to go in as a first officer, so there's a big pay cut. Then they base you somewhere where you don't live, so then you have to make your own way there. You spend your days off trying to get to work, which with my job now, they give me a ticket that's confirmed, I get on an airplane, I fly to wherever they need me to. They give me a ticket, I fly home. So it makes it a lot easier and more structured than, I don't really understand all this commuting that the American pilots do, and the ones I've spoke to said it's horrendous and they don't like it. So the thing that puts me off of moving to an airline for less days off is going as a first officer and having to commute. So I'm staying where I am for the time being. And
because there was another question, I don't know whether I've wrote that down, but about how does the 15 days away affect you? Like, how do you think it affects you?
It's very hard. I mean, the sort of job you do, you have to keep on top of what's going on. And it's very hard to stay motivated for 15 days, but you have to, because if you don't, you miss things, and that's when things go wrong, which isn't good.
No.
So 15 days away is hard. We do get the odd day off here and there, but even a day off is like a standby day, so your phone could go any minute. But we do get a few bits and pieces to sort of recharge our batteries. But it's, if they would do 8 days on, 6 days off, it'd be perfect. But then 15 days on is not good, but 13 days off is lovely.
We like the 13 days off, don't we?
It's the pleasure and pain. You have to give and take.
Yeah.
So it's not the best thing in the world, but it's very interesting flying. I like the fact I've actually have contact with the people that are on board.
Yeah.
I find them quite interesting.
Right, it's interesting, isn't it?
All these rich people flying around. I never realised how much there was going on in the US, corporate flying.
And
It
how
was
many
huge.
people can afford to fly private as well? That fascinates me. I don't know about you guys, but I'm quite a nosy person, and not nosy in a bad way, but like I would love to have a conversation with these people and say, where do you work and how did you get there? How, tell me about your success, because I'm genuinely interested. Jason's supposed to have a good job, yet
We
couldn't
couldn't afford
fly
to do that.
private. So what do these people do? But I'm interested in things like that. I'm not jealous. Good luck to everybody who can do that. But I just would like to know more. But I suppose we'll never know more because, you're not allowed to ask them. Say, my wife said, what do you do for a job? And
you can have conversations with them. And 99% of them have been very pleasant.
Yeah.
There's only a very small minority.
Which is good, isn't it? Right, next question. Have we got any travel plans?
A few.
We've got a few, haven't we?
Yeah.
We have got, in September, it's my birthday, so we are going away for the weekend, just for the weekend, purely because Zara is back at school and we don't really want her to miss any school, so we need her to be there, 99.9% of the time. So we've decided to go to Dollywood for the weekend. So we're going to go up only for just 2 nights. We fly, is it Tennessee that you?
We're going to somewhere called McGee Tyson.
Yeah, we've booked the flights and we're going there and just going to spend the day in Dollywood. I've wanted to go there for quite a while. I know that there's lots around that area, Pigeon Forge, those type of places, but we will be really pushed for time. So I'm hoping that we'll go back again in the future. But
Knoxville, Tennessee we're flying to. And then we're staying in a hotel in Pigeon Forge and then going to Dollywood for the day. So I'm really excited about that. So if any of you guys have got any tips, we haven't bought the Dollywood tickets yet, but I plan to buy obviously the entry ticket and the express ticket. If we get there.
Yeah, it's not going to be like New York. So let me know if you guys have got any tips on Dollywood, because I would like to know them. What was the best roller coaster? What would you suggest to do first? Where would you eat? We know nothing, apart from the vlogs that we've watched. So that's in September. October, we don't have any travel plans. So
Terrible,
there's room to make some.
Terrible.
Isn't there?
Yeah.
And then in November, are you going for wine?
Yeah, sorry.
In November, we have booked to go on a cruise, which I'm very excited about.
7 days.
Yeah, we're going on a week's cruise and it's just me and Jason going as well. So very excited about that.
Tell them how you broke that one to your mother.
We always, when we lived in Qatar, we always had a holiday once a year, just the two of us. And my parents would look after Zara. They'd either come to Qatar or she'd go to the UK. And I was thinking, how can we sort of pull this off? Because I knew that my dad probably wouldn't have been able to come over, and it's not possible for us to take Zara to the UK because she's at school again. So we're flying my mum over. So I called my mum and said, do you want to come babysit in November? And she was like, yeah, okay. So we're very lucky that we can do that. So we are going on a Caribbean cruise in November with Royal Caribbean for 7 nights. And it is on the brand new ship that I think The Star of the Seas. It hasn't even had its inaugural sailing yet. I think it arrives in Port Canaveral in about 6 or 7 days from the point of me recording this video. So we're extremely excited, aren't we? And then that's November. And then in December, we already had booked, before this one, another cruise. So the 3 of us are going on another cruise for Christmas. So I'm excited about that too.
So 4 nights.
A 4-night cruise, yeah. Again from Port Canaveral with Royal Caribbean. Not on the Star of the Seas, it's on the Utopia of the Seas. And it's for actual Christmas. We get on the 22nd of December. So we will spend Christmas Day at sea, because it's a sea day, isn't it? Christmas Day. Yeah.
So no cooking.
No cooking. Because it just was like, we knew we weren't going to have any visitors at Christmas, and we couldn't go to the UK for Christmas. So I was looking at options, and I seen this and thought, that's perfect. You know, I don't really want to cook Christmas dinner for 3 of us. And I thought, well, where are we going to go for Christmas dinner? There probably is places, but...
You thought the Bahamas, did you?
I just thought, yeah, let's just go on a cruise. So yeah, there we go. There's our travel plans coming up. Other than that, we have nothing. We have plans for next year, but nothing is confirmed. So that is our 3 things that we've got coming up in September, November and December. So we will, of course, take you along for the ride. When we're on the cruise, we will be completely offline and just enjoying it, but I will vlog it.
You won't be able to put it out, will you?
No.
So it's going to be a bit of a...
I'll have to have vlogs lined up. What have we got next? Right, the cost of the US compared to the UK. Well, we've talked about this lots really, haven't we? And the thing is, we haven't lived in the UK now for nearly 12 years, but we do have a home in the UK. But the cost of living, it's got to be more here. We definitely think so, don't we?
It's verging on nearly twice as much.
Yeah.
When you put in the things like property tax but then you get taxed a little bit less than you do in England, so you lose a little bit less at the beginning, but then you have these property taxes, the insurances are higher, the food's higher.
Yeah.
So it's definitely more, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was coming on to 1.5 to 2 times as much.
I definitely think the food is more, because I've been to the UK a lot, and in the recent, well, I haven't been for a few months, but I do food shopping while I'm there, and I know for a fact that the food is more expensive here, definitely. For me, I'm the one who more looks after things like that, whereas you obviously look after the bills and stuff, don't you? So you would see the comparison in, say, the electricity bill or the taxes and things like that.
I wouldn't have a clue.
Food, I tend to do that, so it would be me that's seeing that, the difference in the price. And just from chatting to other people about it, obviously chatting to my mum about it, and friends and family, that I know that it is more expensive to live here, definitely. The cost of the house, like you say, the taxes, it's the insurances that you wouldn't necessarily need in the UK, or the insurances would be a lot less. But again, we've gone over that many times in vlogs about how expensive it is to live here, because I get so many messages about people want to live here. Usually it's unattainable because of what job they're in, and then secondly, it's unattainable because they just haven't got the finances to do it. And it is such a shame, because it puts most people off, doesn't it? I honestly don't know how people manage if they live here and, say, work in Walmart. I don't know how people survive. I really don't, because, or you just maybe won't go out or won't go anywhere.
It's also why there's loads of pilots where I am that are over 65.
Yeah, because they're still working. Yeah.
Whereas in England, you lose your licence at 60. Not lose your licence, you're no longer allowed to use it at 65.
Yeah.
So,
which speaks volumes, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And also, you see a lot of older people working in shops and things here, don't you? Like when you go in places like Lowe's, there's always a lot of older men working there, definitely over 65.
Sounds wrong, doesn't it?
There is, though, isn't there?
There's Lowe's, definitely, yeah. You
know, probably because they have to work. They can't afford not to work. Yeah, it's the finance situation here is out. Some things I think are out of control, but
You probably work for the health insurance.
yeah, probably, which is really sad, isn't it?
Probably
That's
if you
a
had
really
like
sad.
a part-time job, you'd probably still get the same health insurance,
Probably.
which is worth thousands.
Yeah.
So even though you're only working a couple of days, it saves you paying out a couple of $1,000s a month.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really hard. Like, I can see why a lot of people can't afford to do it. So yeah, cost is definitely more, definitely. The school system. So Zara is 1 year in. She done the last year of middle school. She's starting high school next week. And up to now, I'm pretty happy with the school. She came from the British system, from a private school, if you can call it private, loosely private because it was private because you had to pay for it, but I'm not really sure it was on par with a British private education. However, very, very different from there. Her school in Qatar was a lot stricter. It had a uniform. You know, she said that there's some of the things that the kids do in the classes here, there's no way that have gotten away with those at her old school. She said that kids are allowed to shout and scream in the classrooms here, and yeah, it's a bit wild. But overall, she's done very well, so we can only go off what is happening in her life, and she's done very well. We've had very good feedback, and I'm happy with the way they give feedback as well. I think that's the biggest take from me. You never heard a thing from her old school, or very rarely anyway. And since COVID, you didn't get through the door. They just didn't want you in there at all. But I don't know, I just feel I sort of like the school better here. I'm hoping that's going to continue. We are only a year in, and she is at a difficult age. It could go horribly wrong, but
It could go horribly right.
It could go
Positive.
horribly right. I know. Yeah. I'm trying to be as positive as possible about the upcoming start of high school because I found it really tough last year. She didn't, but I did. And if you've been watching me since then you'll have seen how tough I found it starting a new school. But that's just guilt, like me feeling guilty about it because she was settled and we moved her away. So,
Now she's settled.
And now she's settled again. So, likes and dislikes about the house. I think in more context, this question was like about like where it is and would we change anything about the house.
Put decent grass outside.
Yeah. Decent grass, please. No, but the house, I love the house. It's the perfect...
I still like the electric garage door.
It's Jason's favourite part.
It is.
It's the perfect size. We definitely could have had a smaller house, but we didn't want a smaller house, and I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad we went for the bigger house because even though us three don't really need it, it's nice to just have the space and have the option, you know, and when people are coming over, you've got that option. So I really wouldn't change much about it. Yeah, there's some little small things I want to change as we go along, but that's just improvements rather than structurally or anything. I wouldn't change anything, would you?
Survived Milton, so...
Yeah, it survived the hurricane last year. And we like where it is. It's fairly quiet. There seems to be a community spirit, which we like. Our neighbours are nice. I can't really say anything bad at the moment, can you?
Just need a Starbucks across the road.
Oh yeah, a Starbucks across the road, a super Target, and I'll be absolutely sorted.
Right, we'll get on.
But then in one sense I don't want them to cut the trees down, but then I do want a super Target and a Starbucks. I like to be near the shops. As you all know, I like shopping. Yeah, so I can't really think of anything I dislike about the house because apart from just, like I say, the odd things that we want to change or do in the future, there's nothing that I think I hate that. Do you? No. What mistakes do tourists make in Disney that you see now you live here? Oof, what mistakes do they make?
In Disney? Going in the summer.
In the summer. Zara's just perked up from behind. But and I understand people have to go in the school holidays. I get it. But my God, is it warm out there, isn't it?
The thing is, it's not mistakes they make, it's because you have to, which you've said before, because they've got a week to do whatever.
Yeah.
They've got a pass that lasts 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
So you have to go in from when it starts to when it stops.
And I've done it. I've been there and thought, I have to do this. I have to get this ride done. I have to do that. And I know what that feels like. And I understand. But now I don't have to do that. And I think that is probably the most... I know it's the most privileged thing. And I can walk in there and go... I won't bother queuing for that then because I don't need to. And it is a lovely feeling. Like yesterday, I went into Magic Kingdom. I had one thing to do in there. I just wandered in, took me time, and I just thought, yeah, I'm too hot now. I'm going home.
That means I was boiled to death in the cinema.
Yeah, while you went to the cinema.
It was really hot.
I think tourists, I think it is just rushing around. Like, that is a big mistake, isn't it? But
it's not really a mistake.
I get it.
It's what you have to do.
Yeah, I get it. I actually feel sorry for anybody who comes to Disney now for the first time because all of that planning on the app and everything, it's like a military operation. That's not fun, is it?
No. As you proved.
Yeah, but you don't have to do that now.
No, but when you done it, when we stayed in the Disney hotel.
Oh, yeah.
That was it. By the end of that, I'd done enough.
I put him off for life.
Yep.
Now he lives here.
I don't mean I have to go. When was the last time I went in Disney?
No, it was a while ago since you went.
Well,
You went to Disney Springs, that doesn't count. Overall, like, 'cause I've had the question of what do you like the best about living here? And I think it is just being able to go to the places that people have to save up and go to and travel to and think, I have to do that flight, the planning it takes, getting time off work, and being able to go to those places, whether it be Disney, Universal, iDrive, I don't know, anywhere else around here, having that on your doorstep and being able to go there is great. It's the best thing for me about living here.
Seeing the planes.
Going to the airport and dropping me off.
And we dropped Jason off at the airport, which is obviously like every 2 weeks. The other day when we went and picked him up, the Aer Lingus was just going over where it goes over the road, taxiing out to the runway, and I said to Zara, that'll be going to Manchester. And she was like, thank God I'm not on that. I was like, I know. Because I know what that feels like when you have to go home. I used to dread it, absolutely dread it. And now I don't have that feeling. Will we be here forever, do you think?
We'll be here for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And then we'll evaluate from there.
The thing is, I don't see it like I see in Qatar. Qatar we knew wasn't permanent, whereas here we just can relax a bit more and think, well, if you decide that you don't stay here, then you decide that then, don't you? You don't have to decide. You don't know that for good. Like, you don't know that for sure, sorry. It's an option, isn't it? You can just decide when you decide. Whereas Qatar, we couldn't do that. We knew that we had to leave.
Well, you can buy a house there, which you can do now, and then they let you
Yeah,
stay.
you couldn't though at the beginning though, could you? You couldn't buy a house there, but you can now.
But you wouldn't want to. Like,
No, definitely not. You'll have to let me know in the comments if anybody has lived in the Middle East. If you've got any experience of living there, or have you been there on holiday? Has anybody actually been to Qatar? Not many people have been to Qatar, have there?
it's mostly Dubai.
Everybody says, oh yeah, I've been to Dubai. I'm like, yeah, okay. It's not the same country, but it's very similar, but it's not the same country.
The sort of working environment they treat the same. And how they treat their employees, etc. But outside to a tourist, it's much more laid back in Dubai because they've basically said we will allow for tourists to do what they want because we want tourists. Whereas Qatar say we want tourists, but they don't really.
No, they don't want to change and not that I'm saying they should change their rules to cater for tourists, but that's what Dubai have done. And Qatar want those tourists, but they're not willing to shake off those.
Yeah, the alcohol, the dress, You know, Dubai, you get away with walking around.
Oh yeah, you see people in Dubai in tiny little shorts and bikini tops walking around the mall. You would never see that in Qatar. Or if you did, they'd be flagged straight away. It would be a problem. But
It's double-edged sword, really.
It
Because you want
is.
to go to these places for the culture.
For the culture.
But then you want a bit of what you want to do as well.
Exactly.
So,
yeah,
who knows?
we always respected their culture though, didn't we? Always. And it was nice to see their culture. Definitely glad that we done it, because we would have never have... How else would you learn about that kind of culture without living in it and immersing yourself completely in it? You wouldn't,
Now
would you?
when people say things, you know things because you've been there, done it, seen it.
Yeah.
And rather than just hearsay, as a lot of people have.
Yeah. Or if people have been to Dubai, they
I
have...
thought the country had come to a stop at prayer time. I thought just cars would stop, they'd all get out and start praying on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Which only happened to Sarah once, didn't it? When
When she was in an Uber.
the Uber driver
Yeah.
stopped, middle of a roundabout, got out, put his mat out on the road and decided it was time to pray.
Yeah.
And she was on her way to a brunch.
Yeah. That's one thing we do miss about Qatar, isn't it?
The
The
brunches.
brunch. Yeah, we do. We miss that. We miss our friends. But ultimately, living in Florida is definitely everything that I expected it to be and more. And I did build it up in my head. You didn't, because you're not really that bothered, are you?
Just somewhere to live. Doesn't really matter
Do you know
to me
there's
where
going
I
to be
live.
people screaming at this TV now who would absolutely kill to live here?
I enjoyed flying here.
Yeah.
Well, and all the places I see, which I'd have never seen. So I enjoy that side of things.
America is fascinating though, isn't it, when it comes to that kind of thing? The different, how you can go from the snow to the mountains to the beach to the desert to the... It's got everything. It absolutely has got everything. And talking about travel, we would love to go to loads of places, wouldn't we? Loads of places. We were actually watching our Arizona vlog last night, weren't we? Zara put it on and I said, I'm so pleased we've got these vlogs, because then we can look back on them and we can look back at those places. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up because we've been talking for nearly 40 minutes. Yeah, we have. Yeah. So I just want to say thank you so much for everybody who's shown an interest in the channel or in us, asked us questions, left a comment. The comments on the channel do help the algorithm, helps other people find it, and just helps boost the channel. So if you want to help out, then just leave me a comment, like the video, because it really does make a big difference. So thank you for everybody who has commented in the past or will comment in the future. We will continue to make vlogs and hopefully we can make them interesting.
And don't forget, if anyone's around and they want a beer, come to...
If anybody's around on August the 23rd, I forgot the date then. If anybody's around on August the 23rd, we are having our first meet-up in the Best of British pub in Claremont from about 5ish. So if you're around and you're in the area, then come and say hi, come and have a beer. You can just pop in if you want to, or you can stay for a few beers, whatever you want to do. But if you're around, let me know. And I do reply to every single comment. It might take me a few days, but I do reply to them. So we'll see you on Saturday for the usual weekly vlog. We'll see you then. Bye.